other major platforms. You know, seems like when we talk about the sports lately, it's been a lot of bad and ugly, man. From the Henry Ruggs to the Aaron Rodgers to the Odell Beckham. But you know, NBA could be looking at some could be some trending some rough waters right now. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the NBA right now as far as the mess in Philly with the Ben Simmons saga. And there's an ongoing investigation in Phoenix for the Phoenix owner, Robert Sarver, is being accused of racist comments, actions, bigotry, misnogamy, excuse me, I pronounced it wrong, and a whole lot of other bullshit. You know, he's being accused by past employees as well as former NBA player and former coach Earl Watson. So, you know, when I thought about that, I'm like, wait a minute, Earl Watson, you know, it's got to be some truth to what he's saying, right? I mean, he is behind the scenes. He is in the locker room, unlike fans and media, certain media who are not allowed as close to the team as a coach would be, right? So whatever he has to say on this matter has to hold some type of weight, holds merit to it, right? Well, you know, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, a few other players say they're gonna reserve judgment until the investigation is concluded. How ironic is it that in 2021, Chris Paul is also playing under another ownership that's being investigated for racism? You know, let's backtrack and fast back to when he was playing for the Clippers, and the NBA stepped in, intervened, and ultimately made Donald Sterling sell the team. So now here we are in 2021 with the Phoenix Suns just coming off a finals berth, capturing the Western Conference, where they should be applauded and we should be asking questions such as, can they repeat? Can Devin Booker and Chris Paul lead them back to the finals? Is Ayton going to get paid? Is he the next premier big man in the league? But instead, we're here waiting for an investigation to conclude. It's crazy when you think about everything that's going on in the NBA, from the Philadelphia to right now this investigation in Phoenix, where the matters and should be about the performance on the court and celebrating the Milwaukee Bucks, honoring Giannis and his teammates for the accomplishment of bringing the title back to Milwaukee. But instead, we're here worrying about if Ben Simmons is actually going to get traded. Can he stop dealing with his emotions? Is what's going to happen with this investigation? Is this another Donald Sterling part two? You know, in the NBA, it's over. It's like any other business, any other sport, man. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, right? Shout out to the teams that got off to a good start, and you know, hopefully they have a strong season. Shout out to my Knicks for defeating the defending champions last night, overcoming a 20-point deficit. By the way, you know what I'm saying? Big game by Julius Randle. This is some of the things that we enjoy. I enjoy talking about as a sports fan and doing this podcast in the Smokers Lounge and all that. You know what I'm saying? But instead, we got to talk about, you know, investigation and racism. We got to worry about dudes dealing with emotions. Like everyone knows, after Philadelphia was eliminated by the Atlanta Hawks, you know, listen, honestly, Doc Rivers, Joel Embiid should have reserved judgment, should have not just came out like that to the media and just gave Ben Simmons a little minute. Everyone saw it. Everyone saw how timid he was. He was afraid to shoot. He couldn't attack the basket. We all saw it. That's your teammate. That's the man you in the foxhole with. This is the guy you coach up, not coach down. You don't bring him down, tear him down. I understand where he was coming from. Now, at the same time, you're a big man. You're a grown man. It's time for you to respond as a grown man. Let your actions do the talking. Instead, you know, your actions is horrible. You know, you're acting like you can't compare. You can't compete. You act like you can't comprehend. You know, it's all about you when there's no I in team. Right now, it's all about the Philadelphia 76ers. So, if you're the general manager, Daryl Morey, what do you do? Do you trade him? Do you suspend him and hopefully trade him off at the deadline? Or do you suspend him for the remainder of the season and then rehash trade talks in the offseason? Or does ownership step in and say, you know what? This isn't a circus. This is a business. This is the brand. If he doesn't want to play for the 76ers, we'll find someone else who does. This is what they do, right? Think about what's going on right now. Obviously, it's a long-going saga. This is the new season, and you're still dealing with the Ben Simmons drama. However you want to look at it, he clearly states he doesn't want to be a 76er anymore. His actions indicate it even stronger. He does not want to play for the 76ers. That relationship cannot be repaired. They've tried. They publicly supported him. Some of his teammates came out. Embiid apologized. Doc Rivers apologized. Obviously, he's not into it. He's not focused on the 76ers. He's focused on Ben Simmons and his next destination, right? He gets kicked out of practice. Now he's getting fined game day checks. It is what it is, man. In this game, right now, you know, you're always going to have your winners and losers. And the fans of Philadelphia, obviously, they're losing right now. Because it was a winning culture. If you kept trusting the process, they would get into the playoffs. They were constantly elevating in the playoffs. It was only a matter of time before they took that next step and represented the Eastern Conference in the finals, right? Or that's just my opinion. You know, because that 1-2 tandem was a hell of shit. So I always felt that, you know, as long as Ben Simmons had that Kobe mentality that, you know what, I'm going to get better. I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to shut everybody up. I'm going to do this for everybody, for the city of Philadelphia, but for myself, because I know the capability I am as a player, and I can take my game to that next level. But, you know, unfortunately, it will never come to fruition in Philadelphia. Unless things change in the near future, which I don't see, you know, Ben Simmons will fulfill his potential in another ball club. Hold perfectly in the Western Conference where he wants to go. Towards the West, you know, Clippers, Lakers, Sacramento, Golden State, maybe Portland. But, you know, again, he doesn't call the shots. So eventually, someone will intervene. And I'm looking at maybe it has to be ownership. Because, you know, the general manager is looking for fool's gold. Asking for like 3 or 4 first-round picks. A swap of a couple of future first-round picks. A premium player in return. Or multiple premium players in return. Yes, this guy's good. But he's not Michael Jordan. He's not the late, great Kobe Bryant. So, you know, that situation in Philadelphia is ugly, and the situation in Phoenix could get real ugly if it's determined that after the investigation concludes that this man, the owner of the Phoenix Suns, Robert Sarver, is guilty of everything he's being accused of by former employees, past and present, as well as Earl Watson. And I also read something about Vince Carter mentioning that his first time back in Phoenix after being acquired, playing in Phoenix, having a good game, and they mentioned to him that Robert Sarver had the coaching staff take him out the game for whatever reason. But, you know, eventually, as this investigation keeps going, more things are going to start to trickle out. They always do. A little detail here, detail there. This is what makes things interesting and also sad at the same time. Because if things are starting to come out now, how long have people known what was going on? You feel me? Like, they had to know what was going on if things are just starting to trickle out. The same thing happened with John Gruden with the emails. Now, with this man, in 2021 in society, there's no place for that. In the sports world, there's no place for that. In that locker room, there's no place for that. As much as people want to adjust to certain things and stuff new things down people's throats, old things never go away, and it's hard to change. It's hard to break them cycles. Right now, look, a different owner of a franchise in the NBA being accused of all these things. Right now, they're allegations. A lot of people will continue to step forward as this investigation, is ongoing. And it's crazy just to think about it because we should be talking about the game, playing ball, the standings. What's your team doing? My Knicks won last night. Brooklyn, they won. You know, whatever. Things like that. But instead we're worrying about where Ben Simmons is going to go. When will they trade Ben Simmons? Or now with this investigation. You know, it's sad because Phoenix Suns should be getting celebrated for coming out the Western Conference, from eliminating the defending champions, from heading to the Western Conference. But instead, we're talking about another owner in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Another black eye for the NBA, a black cloud that continues to hover around ownership, right? Because now it's another owner. You can't even blame Donald Sterling no more. He's out the equation. But yet in 2021, we're still dealing with all this bigotry, this racism, and these owners and people feeling entitled to act accordingly how they feel is according to them. This entitlement that you can act and say as you please without any repercussion, with any backlash, is crazy. In this day and age, we get held accountable for sneezing wrong. Don't you think whatever you say will come back to haunt you? Anything you say will and can be used against you in the court of law. You feel me? This is what we living in. This is society. And it trickles down all the way to the sports world. And it is what it is, man. And right now, the NBA, hopefully, you know, they're bracing for the worst and praying for the best. But obviously, it's not looking too good. Because again, people coming out, and I feel that Earl Watson, a former NBA player, a former head coach, assistant coach in the circle, knows what's going on. So when he says and agree with the statements of the accusations being placed on Robert Sarver, you got to hold some work to what he's saying. You feel me? Now, again, NBA, long season, it's a couple of things. A lot of players complaining about the ball, the texture. If you know what's going on, Wilson and NBA just agreed to a new partnership. So they replaced Spalding as the ball of the NBA. So now you got Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Trae Young, James Harden, a few other stars complaining about the texture and the feeling of the ball. They can't get into a rhythm. But obviously it's not affecting everybody because Carmelo's shooting the ball lights out. John Morant is balling out. You know, RJ Barrett's doing his thing, and so on and so on. But again, you know, these stars will find their niche. They'll find their little niche when it comes to that ball. And eventually, you know, they'll adapt and love the Wilson basketball. But as of right now, there's a lot of complaining, a lot of griping. And, you know, the ball's coming into play. It's new. Everything's new when it comes to that. Shout out to Wilson. Shout out to Spalding. I actually enjoy shooting rock with that, and I'll continue to do that. But, you know, again, they'll get it together. Now, as far as this complaining, you know, I actually enjoy these complaints because I was the one doing the complaining. You know, I got tired of seeing someone like Trae Young come down the court and flare his arms in the air and get the whistle blown. Not even a defender next to him within striking distance. You feel me? Not even breathing under the. And here he is at the free throw line at the charity stripe because, you know, the whistle, once again saved by the whistle, James Harden. You know, some of these others do that initiate contact. Now they're complaining. Listen, if you're going to draw a foul, you're going to find a way to get it on our free throw line no matter what. Initiating the contact doesn't, you know, legitimately, okay. But you initiating it the way you do, flopping, putting your hand out, sticking your leg out at the three-point line, it's crazy. It was stupid already. You know, if it's up to me, I wish they'll get rid of that Euro step. A lot of people used it to their game and added to the arsenal, but, you know, without the exception of a few others, like maybe Giannis or maybe 1-2, a lot of these dudes are walking, and we all know that. So people should complain about that, start a petition about eliminating that from the game. This is American soil, so they should use American rules and American guidelines. I get it sometimes, but as I say like this, right, that rule needed to be changed as far as the flapping go. The Euro step and all that, I'm not too sure. A lot of these guys do walk. I'm not going to say abolish it all in general, but I'm saying it needs to be tinkered with the same way this rule was. Listen. Trae Young could find a way to get to the free throw line. This is a guy who's not even 6'2", 6'5", solid, whatever the case he is, muscle-wise, and he's getting to the free throw line more than a guy like Zion Williams would. You feel me? Like, you know something's wrong. And they had to clean it up, and they did. And it is what it is, but, you know, again, some of these rules are there, and some of these players are taking advantage of it. You know, that bend but don't break, and Euro step this, and a lot of things new to the game as far as the NBA culture. But it's adapting as well. This charge here with the flopping and all that had to go. There's no way you can adapt to that. It's affecting the game. It's affecting the outcome of the game. So there's no way that you can adapt to that unless everyone starts flopping. Then it's not playing basketball no more. You feel me? So it's just like crazy. But, you know, if you're new to that channel, like, subscribe. You know, I've been working, grinding. I dropped the home run derby. I dropped the dynamic duo. I just dropped the Henry Ruggs. You know, it's crazy. You know, a lot of things is going on in the sports world, from Odell getting released by the Browns to Aaron Rodgers, people coming at his head right now because of his vaccination status. You know, they claiming he lied when he said he never claimed whether he was vaccinated or not. But, you know, it is what it is, and it's affecting his team because he's out for this Sunday's matchup and could be out for future other matchups, but no one knows that as of now. But we do know he tested positive, so he's in quarantine, and there's a few other things going on in the NFL, and it's just crazy how the Rocky. Look, there's another player from the Raiders being sued right now for a hit and run. First round of Dave Arnett. What's going on in Vegas? I might have to do another episode over there, man. It's just crazy when you think about what's going on. It's a lot of bad and definitely a lot of ugly going on, man. Prayers to the family for the young woman who lost her life in the Henry Ruggs incident, and pray for his girlfriend to get a speedy recovery, and somehow for him to get his head get on straight, get his composure, and at the end of the day, man, you do gotta face the music, man. It is what it is, man. When we all fuck up, this is what we gotta do. You gotta pay that cost, man. And right now, you know, there's a lot of things down on you, and it's raining on you right now, but hopefully you can withstand this rain and stand tall after it, man. You know, learn from your mistake, man. As far as this NBA thing, man, it's racism all over the world, man. And people deal with it all the time, stereotyping and all type of crazy shit, man. But there's no time like that, and it shouldn't have no place in the NBA world as far as ownership. When you look at what's involved, ownership down. You know, when your employees are scared to be around you, they're scared to associate with you. You know what's a problem? When multiple people come up, it's not an accusation like that. There's got to be some merit to that. You feel me? So eventually we will find out what's going on with this investigation. And, you know, as NBA fans, we can enjoy your team, my team, the Knicks. Hopefully we can make the playoffs and your team makes the playoffs and we can take it to that top. But right now, we have to deal with what's going on in the NBA world. So hopefully that Ben Simmons situation gets taken care of and everyone finds a solution. And hopefully Philly can get something back respectable in return in the trade. Because this general manager is like, fools go with all these demands and first round picks and swaps and this and that. And it's crazy. And again, you know, that Phoenix situation, man, I know the NBA is bracing for the worst because this might get real fucking ugly. Just think about that for a second, man. Another owner dealing with another owner who's had racist accusations. So right now it isn't proven that he's a racist. But either or, he shouldn't be in this situation right now. He should be serenading and applauding for his team accomplishing the Western Conference Finals and representing the Western Conference in the finals. But instead, we're dealing with an investigation of accusations, some heavy ones, some strong ones, and even one by an ex-player and coach. So you know, if there's smoke, there's fire, man. So stay tuned. We all standing by. We all eager to find out how this investigation concludes and what they find once it's concluded. It's crazy, man, but it is what it is, man. And this platform, the Smokers Lounge Podcast, man, we deal with the good, the bad, the ugly, everything and anything associated with the sports world, man. It's your boy Big June. Before I sign out, man, if you're new to the channel or if you haven't, subscribe, like, share, follow. Catch me on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Podbean, other major platforms, man. I'm working, I'm grinding. Check out the Immortalized 21 of Roberto Clemente. I got the John Gruden. I got the Kyrie versus the NYC vaccine mandate. I've been grinding. I'm about to upload this one in a little bit, man. It is what it is, man. Thank you for the love and support. Shout out to all my family and friends out there in New York, man. My brother, Lena King. Need some beats, baby. Holla at me, man. It is what it is, man. We doing this. We grinding. It's your boy, Smokers Lounge, man. Come work with you, man. We can discuss it, debate it. It is what it is, man. I'm on my lemon water. Just hit that so you already know I'm feeling real good. Extra breakfast spicy. Doing it the right way, man. It is what it is, man. It's your boy Big Joe Smokers Lounge Podcast, man. I'm out of here, man. One.